What do you think? You like that out there, do you? This is the first peg that we've been to, though. Huh? Well, don't give me that. I'd like your input too. What do you mean no? Oh, I've got to make all the choices, have I?
Wind the handle. Point it to the sky.
That's what that crate is. Right, so it's a bit bumpy, so I have to apologise for the quality of the footage right now. We've just been and picked a swim, left our bucket on it, been and paid, and now we're on our way back to set up. Ooh, that's when it became available. Interesting. Never mind, we've got one. We're happy with it. Is it number 11? Yes, it's number 11. Just check on that. Some potholes there. Not in the 4x4 anymore. Looks like it's going to be 3 loads. Right, so to start with, we've gone to Norton Disney, Zula and I, to make a dog training video for my channel, Johnston K9. Shameless plug, links down below. We're starting a series on bivvy dogs, what we'd expect a dog to do and how we would expect it to be while we're out fishing for a session. So the wife had taken the kids to Scarborough for a few days. I thought perfect, get the dog, shoot off up to Norton Disney, shoot a video. So we got there, we did some filming, getting the dog out of the car, getting all the equipment out of the car safely with the dog, and then transporting that backwards and forwards from the car to the swim, all of that sort of stuff. That went fine. Next thing was, what do we expect our dog to do while we're getting our swim set up? So we set up to start filming that, and then all of a sudden really loud music kicked off. I was like, oh, it's a bit inconvenient. I was wanting to film now, sun was nice and everything, and then the loud music's kicking off, so I'm looking around like trying to figure out which bivvy it's coming from. And it took me a couple of minutes to realise that it wasn't coming from any of the bivvies, it was coming from behind the tree line in the distance. And I was like, oh, what? Sounds like there's a band on or something. Didn't last very long though, 10 minutes at the most, and then it stopped. I was like, brilliant, start filming, get the cameras back out, start setting back up again. Then it kicked off again. By the sounds of it, different band. So I was like, oh, brilliant, this is not going to work, is it? There's obviously some sort of like concert or festival or something going off. We're not going to have the right sort of environment to do any filming in. Might as well bang the dog training video on the head, because I wanted really good audio for it, and do something else. So for a while we'll make a Bivvied up video. Raven wasn't there, it's just me and the dog at Norton Disney. This is how it went. baiting up my third rod.
So these are the 3 choices that I've made for this evening. We're on the krill, the pink, the white and the au natural. So in here I put some krill powder. I've buried my hook bait and my hook. I'm going to put a few small pellets in, and these are all krill with the exception of some RG, the Atlantic crab, which I absolutely love. This is the Venue's pellet that they feed their fish on. We've got a couple of bags of that in 2 different sizes, the 2 that they feed their fish on. They do a smaller one, but I've got smaller pellets, so I'm not bothered about that. And then a couple of freezer baits in there, little 12 millies, and the rest krill pellet. I'll show you the swim in a second. Right, so that's where I plan on having 2 rods this evening, where you can see the marker for it there. And I'll do in just a moment is Tuesday fish. In fact, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Going out there. About 12 foot off the side of those reeds. A load of bubbles coming off. So that's where we're going. I'm not fishing very far out at all. Like, I don't know, what, 20 foot, 30 foot, something like that. Some real margin fishing going on. Right, I don't need to do these corners, but it's habit, isn't it? And it looks tidy. Nice presentation. Try and get all the air out of it. We got here about 3. Had a walk round, found our peg. It took us about 2.5 to 3 hours to get set up. It's fastly approaching 7 o'clock, which means that I've probably got about another 2 hours worth of light left if I'm lucky. Yeah, that's that done. It's nice and tidy, isn't it? So brown in that one, white on the middle, and pink on the left-hand rod. That sorted out in a moment. Hold this stuff up because it's way too expensive to get wet. There, because we're going to need it later. Lids on, tidy up after self. So, this was my pre-prepared mix that I've had soaking in some krill juice, yeah, and some that Cretaceous liquid, that brown krilly liquid, thicker krilly gooey liquid from Sticky, with some freezer baits soaked up in there. Okay, this is the house pellet that they feed the fish on in 8mm, and they do lots of different sizes here. I've got 8mm because that's what they said they feed. That size, I mean. And this, I'll keep some of these. And this is the RG Baits Atlantic crab. Very similar, not quite as large, but oh my word, the smell is delish. Yeah. Put it back in there. So I've got plenty of them in there. And then what I've done is a 50-50 mix between this and that, and some sweet corn to give me this. And again, added some more krill juice. Gonna put some more Cretaceous liquid, or however you pronounce that liquid, in there as well. And then I'm probably gonna spoon it out, because like I said, I'm only fishing about 24 foot away from the bank. I'll do some little bait spoon flicks out there and get myself a little spread going off. So, let's see how we go. Back to you in a bit. So, not fishing very far out. As you can see, there's a little float. Just getting good splattering of bait around. About 5 foot deep there, so this will spread out quite nicely across the bottom. Ooh, that one was crap. I'll edit that one out. And last one. I did get a load more over there before I turned the camera on. That one wasn't crap. See you in a bit. Right, so it's the pink one. Not very far. There we go. Alright, pretty good. Relatively firm. I'm just going to let the line sink. Put the paper on, just in case. Middle rod then. This is the white. The brown's going a little bit further down. Nice solid bump that was. Right, just let them lines sink, and I'm going to put some baiting down on the left hand side. Back in a bit.
Right, so I dropped the right hand rod down on the margin, just off that reed bed that I pointed out. That went down with a nice bump as well. And I felt pretty confident, to be honest with you. All three rods I was happy with, the way they'd gone down, they all felt solid. Using the deeper, I'd found that my marginal shelf had got like, all my margin had got a shelf in it, halfway down. I thought, perfect, we'll set up on that. Fish that shelf, lay the lines up the rest of the slope to the rods, so sort of semi-slack lining. Can't not catch a fish is what I was thinking. So I deepered on the medium setting, giving me a wider setting. And normally I do the wide setting and then I drop it onto a tighter one to get a better sort of look at what's down below. I didn't do that. That was my first error. I leaded, but with a smooth lead, just to get a dunk or just to feel around. Didn't then change it to one of those leads with the little nipply things on the sides to see what I could drag back in. That was my second mistake. So the night passed, nothing happened. What did happen was I got a hell of a lot of line bites. So from the first line bite kicking off, I thought, oh, looks like we might be in for a bit of run time. Probably about an hour of daylight left, so I thought I'd turn the cameras on. This is what it sounded like when I was fishing in peace and quiet. The rest of the video may have had some music in the background. This music is entirely environmental. It's the other side of the tree line. I don't know how far away, but it's pretty loud. Check it out. Right, with the concert kicking off, my levels of confidence sort of depleted. I've got something in my head that all the bass line music, you know all that noise that you can sort of feel, that be going through the ground and into the water and disturb the fish. So I thought, I'm not going to catch anything tonight. Might think it's hocus pocus, but it got into my head, and that's what I was thinking that night. I thought, well, how can I pass the time? But I just left the only other thing that a lot of the carp anglers do, take some pictures for Instagram. Check them out. So, like I say, I was kept up a lot throughout the evening with line bite, line bite, line bite. And I was thinking, I remember listening to someone talk about getting line bites, and they were saying if you're getting a lot of line bites, bring your rods about a wrap back, 12 foot back, anywhere from 6 to 12 foot back, and see if that makes any difference. See if that one stops the line bites and produces a fish, or stops the line bites and nothing happens. And I couldn't make my mind up whether I wanted to go for it and just move the rods that little bit closer, or leave them where they were, because I didn't know in my head whether it was fish swimming by the line on the slope of the margin and feeding there and knocking that, or whether they were actually like picking up the bait at around the freebies around where my baited area was, or picking up my actual rig and doing me. You know, I didn't know what to think, and eventually I decided just sit on your hands and see what happens, and nothing happened. I had a bit of a sleep. I got up in the next morning, or rather I was woken up quite politely, shall we say, by one of the local contractors that does some of the groundskeeping for him. Affectionately they call him Jesus. After a little bit of further inquiry as to why that was, he said it was a toss-up between that or Chris Yates, the young Chris Yates, and yeah, I could see the resemblance, so shout out to Jesus and the young Chris Yates. We had a coffee, and he was there to rate the swim, so while he was doing that, I made him a coffee and we had a chat, and I was paying attention to what he was pulling out. It wasn't that weedy in front of me with stuff breaking the surface, but there was some stuff that he was dragging in off the bottom. And some of it looked like that. I don't actually know the real name of it. It's like I call it sedge grass, long thin blades of grass. You see them sometimes synthetically made in fish tanks. If I can find a picture of it, I'll stick it up there or there somewhere. Right. But you know what I mean if you see it. And it grows very spread out like fingers. So it's not a dense sort of thick thing, it's more like a blanket of long individual strands. So when I'm dropping my bags down, they're going straight through the strands, no problem at all, and hitting that hard bottom. But there was anywhere from like a foot to 4 foot of this stuff growing above it. So I wasn't in a good spot with my bait where it was, I mean, not necessarily the peg. I'm fishing at the bottom of a jungle canopy is what I've got in my head. Now there's nothing to say that the carp don't go cruising through that, pushing it aside, getting the snails and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, oh, I've got a day left, what do we do? Well, if I'm fishing really heavy water, I wouldn't necessarily bag fish. I would probably helicopter rig with some pop-ups on and get them to sink slowly. Right, that's what we're going to do. So finished my coffee and my chat with Jesus, and he left, and I had a good lead around, and I did it with the knobbly leads this time to try and find where all this grass was, and it was everywhere in front of me. So finding a clear bulb patch just seemed impossible, but I thought was right, well, it's a commercial fishery, they feed the fish, we need to make a feature out of some food. I made a mix up, as you saw, with lots of light food sources. Got that out there thinking that would settle down and it would drop on top of these grassy stems, whatnot. Set my helicopter rig quite high, got them out eventually sometime around, and about 3 o'clock by the time I'd finished having a good lead around and baiting the areas up. So about 4:45 I turned the cameras back on.
So folks, today it's early evening, about 4:45, 5 o'clock, something like that. It took about 2.5 hours, 3 hours for me to bait up some spots in front of me, and change the rods over to helicopter rigs and get them out onto the spots that I've baited. So I've kept the right hand margin swim. I'm actually trying pineapple pop up on that, covered in pineapple goo, and then dropped inside the krill powder to cover it all with krill powder. It might work, it might not. Mostly trying it for the yellow. Mostly using it for the yellow because I'm using sweet corn. It kind of matches what I'm putting out there. I could put a couple of grains of sweet corn on it, but it's got like that sedge grass at the bottom and tall blades of grass, and I don't know, it's just something about it don't make me feel comfortable doing it, and half the battle of fishing is feeling comfortable with what you're doing, isn't it? So that's out on the right hand margin, and then we're double brown in the middle, matching the hatch as it were, and we're feeding krill and the house pellets, so krill pop-up seems to make sense. Other than that, I've not eaten yet, other than a couple of bags of crisps, so I should probably get some tea down me. For anybody that's not watching in England, tea means like supper, lunch, or like an evening meal, anything like that. Before we go any further, I think I want to definitely do the cooking before it gets dark. Last night when I was doing it, I had flipping midges dive bombing me dinner. You don't care though, do you? No. Don't climb up, no. Off, off, and down, down. Yeah. Give her an inch, takes a mile. Should have been sat on my knee if I'd have let her. She thinks she's a chihuahua. Other than that, folks, not much to report. The guy behind me smashing them in, coming up to his dozen. All being well. I'll have a flurry tonight, get a couple on the bank. So, for now, catch you later. Right, evening folks, it's about 10:15. So far, after repositioning the rods, I've had 2 bleeps on the left hand rod. Hello dog. Alright. Good. So yeah, come on the left hand rod. Stop there you. The festival thing's kicked off proper. You can probably hear that. And about an hour ago there was an almighty fireworks display.
What were you saying about bonfire night? Shall I just wind my rods in now? Oh, again? Well, this is a good enough excuse, isn't it?
So, me and the chap behind me was just talking about how we don't seem to catch anything on bonfire night, and that was pretty much an impromptu bonfire night. So we was joking like we might as well just wind our rods in and go home. But you know, it's still all to play for, isn't it? This might be that night that I get to say, oh, do you remember that night when there was a great big massive fireworks display and then I caught a fish? But we'll see. Oh, that's all the appearance that we're getting from her so far then. Oh, okay. Well, flipping spotlights going off behind the tree line, looks like they're trying to land UFOs. is mental to sit here watching. So we're on 5.5 lengths out, 5.5 wraps out, load of house pellet and Atlantic krill pellet, and Atlantic crab pellet and some krill pellet, and then 2 brown popped up sticky krill pop-ups just on top of them, and down on the right hand margin still 5.5 wraps, to a generous scattering of the same mixture and a few boilies. Fish to a yellow pineapple infused krill goo covered and then krill powdered bright yellow pineapple boilie. Just like give it a try, why not? Other than that, nothing's changed. So hopefully I get to turn the light on again a little bit later and get at this blue I've caught. But we'll see. So, see you a bit later, folks. See you in a bit. Ooh, middle rod. Woohoo! That'd be nice to catch it on camera. Down you. Down. So, back from taking the dog for a poop. Just before we left, we had a couple of liners on the left and the middle rod. They both fished out to the same area, both on the brown krill. Just done a bit to camera. Well, I thought I did. Forgot to press record, didn't I? So, just sat down to do it again. And that's this. We've had another liner on the middle rod. So, down. Stop being silly. Things might be about to look up for me. Or that might have just been fish swimming by going, ha, see you later. We'll see. Concert's still raging away. Some of the music's not been bad, from what I can hear over here. Some of it's been real garbage. I think it'd be worse. Could be at home. Could be raining. Gotta be in it to win it, haven't you? Well, I'm here. And I'm in it. See what we win. See you in a bit. Right, folks, it's just gone 3 o'clock. We've just had and missed our first run. Left hand rod krill pop up in the in the 14 mil. And that's what it was on. That's what the two of the rods are on. Gotta get another boilie out there now. Rebait, get it back out. 5 and a bit wraps it was. This one's I can see properly. All I'm going to do is just line another one of these onto the bait screw. Like so. And then I'm going to carefully cover it in this goo. This is the spicy squid. It's quite thick. Cover it in that. Then I'm going to drop it in the sticky krill powder. And then I'm going to get it back out there. Yeah, look at that. Couple of bits of foam. One like that. One on the back. That's going to do two things. One, help float it up, and then in the last, after it's melted off, that's just going to drop down and last off. Second, it's going to keep that boilie in place and stop it hammering it around too much when I flick it out. Right, got to go and wrap this up and cast it out now, so see you folks in a bit. Hopefully we're on path, on the right track. Did better than we did last night anyway, so change of tactics seems to have worked. But I'll see you folks in a little while. Right, don't know what this footage is going to be like. We're finally into one. Trying to do me in the margin and get away from there. Now what? Yes. You've got both lines, haven't you? Yep. Or have you? Jump as well. Anything about that at the moment? Oh, for crying out loud. Right. Come on, fishy. Get in that net. Go on. No, no. Come on. Yes! You beauty. Finally, we have one in the net. Don't know how big it is yet. I think cameras and everything sorted out. But finally. Right, let's give it away. Take the net off. Take the net off afterwards. Typical. Can't show you on the camera because they're not set up at high enough range. This is weighing in at £19 8 ounce. I've got to take the net off the anchor, so it's not the 20, but it's still a nice fish. It's quite short, quite thick. Okay, first fish from Turner's, leg 11, about £18. Middle rod, krill wafter, no, krill pop-up, brown, 5 and a bit wrapped out. Made a change to the helicopter rigs for the last night because the bags weren't doing it, and it's paid off. Brilliant. Lovely, what a fish. What a chunk. Right. Okay, back. And away it goes. Cracking. Well, that was definitely worth making the changes for then. Like bag fishing, I think it's an excellent presentation, but this swim just wasn't right for it. Made the change to helicopter rigs, pop up, some dissolving foam to make sure I got that nice gentle waft down and set on top of it to finish with. Made a missed run at 3:05 this morning off the left hand rod. And then that fish there off the middle rod. They both fished at the same spot, both fished on the same bait, brown krill pop-ups. All in all, pretty good decision. Still not giving me a lot of confidence in helicopter rigs. I know you probably think I'm crazy, but I don't know, it's just don't feel 100% comfortable sat behind them. But paid off in the end, didn't it? So can't grumble. We've got to get this all packed away now. A couple of hours and we've got to be off the lake. Shut in the lake at 11 they are today. Don't know why. But we'll be gone by then anyway. So, unless there's any more action, someone's into a fish on the other side, so it could be. Unless there's any more action, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, folks. Goodbye.